There are moments where your perceptions sharpen, your decisions align, and life itself seems to respond with a quiet, coherent intelligence. For a brief window, the distance between what you know and what you live simply disappears. Then the system shifts. Familiar reactions arise, and old patterns return to reclaim their space. You can still articulate the truth you saw, but you no longer embody it. The insight was deep, yet it didn't hold. We usually interpret this retreat as a failure of willpower or a sign that we need more study, more information to finally bridge the gap. But the mind accesses clarity almost instantly. It can align conceptually with a higher order truth in a second. The issue is that insight reorganizes the mind, but it does not automatically reorganize the system that must carry it. Your life is shaped by what your system can sustain. While the mind is capable of rapid recognition, the body operates on continuity. It stabilizes patterns and defaults to what has been reinforced over time. Closing the gap between a moment of clarity and a consistent life is a structural challenge. It requires moving beyond conceptual understanding and into the mechanism that actually translates intelligence into form. DNA functions as a living interface, a translation point where non-physical intelligence becomes physical structure. It receives, interprets, and expresses signals continuously. Your thoughts and emotions act as real-time inputs, but when incoherent, this internal noise fragments the signal, creating physical distortion. The original insight wasn't incorrect. The intelligence was present. But because the receiver was distorted, the signal reached the system without being integrated. It passed through without becoming a permanent part of the architecture. This is why clarity fails to hold. Without a coherent internal state to stabilize the transmission, the system simply defaults back to the noise it already knows. To reduce this noise, we have to treat the body as the stabilizing conduit for the entire process. Physical sensations serve as real-time data on signal quality. Tension in the body indicates a pattern being held that is not coherent with your current state of awareness. It is a literal map of where the signal is being restricted. In contrast, sensations of openness indicate flow. They signal that the system is aligned and the intelligence is moving cleanly through the hardware. Calibration happens through response. Instead of overriding discomfort to maintain a mental idea, you adjust the physical state to release the contraction. You realign the hardware so the signal can stabilize. Grounding your awareness in these sensations allows the body to hold the clarity. It moves the experience from a temporary mental state into a consistent embodied function. This stabilization leads to activation, a structural shift that increases the system's overall bandwidth. Activation doesn't add anything new. It increases the ability to sustain the clarity that is already present. With expanded capacity, the system can hold higher levels of coherence without collapsing into fragmentation. You no longer have to struggle to return to alignment. The system is reorganized to stay. Growth has traditionally been measured by the accumulation of information, but we have reached a point where information is abundant while transformation remains inconsistent. The limitation is no longer what we know. The bottleneck is our capacity to integrate that knowledge. Future growth depends on the evolution of the interface, refining the nervous system and the DNA to hold a higher frequency of coherence as a baseline condition. By prioritizing the coherence of the system over the acquisition of more facts, alignment becomes a functional reality. You stop trying to reach the bridge and begin operating as the bridge between source and form.